믹스토피아? 왜 거길 가야 할까?
A long time ago, the MIXX was a realm where all living beings coexisted in harmony. MIXX was a place where all of its inhabitants were cherished and celebrated for their uniqueness. MIXX, by all accounts, was a world that lived in peace. It is said that the borders and territories of this land would expand with imagination, and legend has it that at the end of this realm of infinite imagination exists MIXXTOPIA. Not much is known about the realm of MIXXTOPIA outside of legends which describe it as a utopia where all dreams and wishes come true. That seems to be the difference between these two worlds. MIXX is a realm of infinite imagination, and MIXXTOPIA is a place where those imaginations and dreams can become a reality. Countless adventurers set out to find MIXXTOPIA to achieve their dreams. There were adventurers of all kinds who set out to find this place, some with good and honest intentions, and importantly, others with quite malicious ones. One adventurer among them with an evil agenda began to pollute the MIXX on his quest for MIXXTOPIA. He was called... This evil adventurer's name and title appear to be scratched out of the storybook. He dreamed of a unified utopia. He didn't want to leave the world of MIXX in its natural landscape, but instead insisted on changing it to look visually satisfying. And so, as MIXXTOPIA is described as a perfect utopia, the world of MIXX must be something short of that. It seems not everyone in the world of MIXX coexists in perfect harmony. An organization called Monopole supported this evil adventurer in his efforts. Together, they rose to power in the world of MIXX, judging and controlling its diverse inhabitants to their liking. The unknown adventurer and Monopole molded the very landscape of MIXX to a standardized perfection. They strived for a society without diversity, one that existed in uniformity. If someone looked even slightly different from their framework, they were outcast from society or even brainwashed until conformity was met. This, unfortunately, is the world of MIXX as it exists today, a dark and barren landscape still under the control of this unknown adventurer and Monopole. And so enters a group of 6 girls from the world called Field in this story. Field effectively exists as the real world, and its only connection to the world of MIXX that we're aware of is the candy store called Pick and Mix. This candy store serves as the setting for this group's debut, titled OO. The store's diverse catalog of candies and donuts represents the original diversity of MIXX's inhabitants. The 6 girls feel an almost magnetic force which pulls them to the store. It's not explicitly shown how, but the group somehow stumbles upon a door which leads them to the donut shop that exists in the world of MIXX. Their minds are instantly filled with vibrant color. Floating sea creatures inside the donut shop, flowers which grow across the streets, and more. MIXX really is a place of infinite imagination, so long as you can think of it. But of course, this is just a vision of MIXX's past. Towards the end of the song, the group wakes up to the genuine reality of the present-day MIXX, a dark and brooding landscape under the dominion of Monopole. Having witnessed the dark subjugation of this world, they're filled with a sense of purpose and responsibility to the land of MIXX. Perhaps they were drawn here for a reason, and they are the only ones who can save it. NMIXX debuts with an album called Ad Mare, a Latin phrase that means to the sea. This title makes reference to the way in which they think they can get to MIXXTOPIA, beyond the reality of MIXX, which is described as an ocean-like world. MIXXTOPIA exists beyond the edge of MIXX's reality. Beyond the sea of infinite imagination is utopia. Thus, NMIXX will need to board a ship that is fueled by a magical energy called impetus. Impetus is the physical manifestation of emotions, and a lot of impetus will be needed in order to fuel the ship to cross beyond the border of MIXX's reality, at least enough to get them to the very edge of the universe and even beyond that. And here enters what's called NSWER, the name for NMIXX's fans and secondary characters in this story. We as fans are understood to be the inhabitants of the world of MIXX, suppressed and subordinated by Monopole and living in societies of extreme conformity. NMIXX's first mission is to see the people of MIXX break free from Monopole's suppression and to join them on their journey to MIXXTOPIA. As stated, they will need a lot of people with passion and desire to see MIXX restored in order to fuel the ship using impetus. It's at this point where we need to consider some cosmology. What exactly is MIXX? The New Frontier Mix You Imagine video helps us develop an understanding of this so-called world of infinite imagination. For the 6 girls from the world of Field, it was a sunny day in late summer when NMIXX discovered a box, like a physical box that you can hold. This box is described as a, quote, mix of all the interesting imaginations they had in their heads. They come to understand that the box had been deep within their minds, and yet is now somehow existing in the world with them. This box, which holds the contents of their infinite imagination, is now a physical item they can see and hold. They decide to call it MIXX, with 2 X's, the same name as the world we are introduced to. And so, the world of MIXX exists, or existed originally in the minds of these 6 girls from Field, yet somehow is now a physical world that they are able to access. With this understanding, we have a better sense of the work that is set up for NMIXX and us as answers. If MIXX is a world that can grow as infinite as their imagination, finding MIXXTOPIA means going even further than what you can possibly imagine. How is that possible? Well, this is where the story is at the current day. NMIXX is presently in the world of MIXX, doing the work to be able to convert more answers away from the dominion of monopole. That is a lot easier said than done. And as of the FE304 series, the most recent album updates, we continue to see NMIXX fighting against monopole's oppression and encouraging the denizens of MIXX to break free from conformity, to stick out in society and join them on their journey to MIXXTOPIA. This is the call of the MIXX adventure, to join NMIXX on their journey to find MIXXTOPIA. This journey will require a lot of impetus, the physical manifestation of emotions that will serve as fuel to allow us to pass beyond the realm of infinite imagination. As for what exists on the other side of infinity, even NMIXX seems unsure at times of what's actually supposed to be there. Will MIXXTOPIA be what's needed to save the world of MIXX? Is it at all what we're expecting it to be? How can MIXXTOPIA possibly be a perfect utopia for everybody, even those like the unknown adventurer with evil intentions? These are questions that will be answered in the subsequent story updates from this group. Now, I'm going to quickly go through all of the releases in chronological order and provide more context given what we know so far. So we begin, of course, with 00, which was covered almost entirely in this video. The girls from the world of Field stumble upon a passageway to the world of MIXX, and on their journey there, are initially filled with visions of MIXX's beautiful past. Towards the end of the track, they wake up to the reality of what MIXX is today, a dark and desolate world under the dominion of monopole. We then get to Dice, and MIXX's first real venture into the world of MIXX and encounter with monopole. Dice narratively is a game that Monopole plays with the members, trying to torment the girls and discourage them from pursuing MIXXTOPIA. By playing the rules of the game and solving its riddles, NMIXX faces their fears and wins the game. Monopole sends a giant cat, which represents the fears of the members, but by facing their fears and winning the game, the cat shrinks to become small again. At the end of the game, we see Bae inspecting a small piece of green-colored candy, which leads us to the next comeback, Expergo. This album brings us 2 significant narrative updates, the Wisdom, Love, and Courage series, as well as the Secret of Sweet Oasis. The Wisdom, Love, and Courage story film is a little abstract in nature. A woman speaks and narrates that wisdom and love for one another, appreciating people for their differences from you, will lead you to the path of courage. In retrospect, this seems like a declaration for all answers who are joining NMIXX on their adventure. The key to restoring the world of MIXX and finding MIXXTOPIA is appreciating the original diversity of this world's inhabitants. You become capable of true wisdom, love, and courage once you love others for who they are, as well as yourself. The Secret of Sweet Oasis narrative is a lot more straightforward. NMIXX conducts an investigation into the Sweet Oasis, a candy store that sells only one kind of green-colored candy. Upon further investigation, NMIXX comes to several different revelations. 1. The clerk of this store is associated with Monopole, the organization that has been watching and now tormenting NMIXX for a while. 2. The dye that's used to make the green-colored candy is made with a formula that consists of attributes such as perfectionism, obsession, and discrimination. It isn't stated directly, but the candy itself is likely to be made with impetus energy, causing those who consume the candy to be filled with those emotions. 3. The Sweet Oasis candy store is revealed to have originally been the Pick in MIXX store. The variety of candy and donuts it used to sell were removed, its name was changed, and stock reduced to just one kind of candy in order to reflect the world of MIXX's oppressive conformity. We then get to Midsummer NMIXX's Dream. This album is where we learn a lot of the origin story of NMIXX, presented in the form of a storybook. There's mention of a meeting on one night in Midsummer that seems to reflect the ideals of the Wisdom, Love, and Courage video. NMIXX meets together with NSWER and encourages people to find love for one another, not through our eyes, but through our hearts. This now brings us to the FE304 series, the most recent additions to this story. There's a lot that's up for speculation right now, considering we still don't know where this story is going, if another FE304 project will be released, and so on. The narrative videos from this era sees NMIXX questioning why they must go to MIXXTOPIA. We're reminded again that they have some reservations behind what this utopia actually is, but nevertheless, they do push forward to try and find it. It seems Monopole has captured them to some capacity, trapping them inside of a prison as of the Dash music video. They manage to break free and continue their journey. Stick Out is the most recent release, which sees NMIXX encouraging people to stick out in society, recruiting more answers, and breaking them free from Monopole's dominion. And I think that's it. A hopefully somewhat comprehensive beginner's understanding of NMIXX's lore so far. I'll make a kind of glossary of all the terms and ideas regarding their lore in the description of this video, paired with the accompanying lore videos that have been posted by NMIXX. I think that's all for me. Thank you for watching this. If you did, let me know what you think about this, any ideas you have about this story, of what may be going on in the future. I want to do a follow-up video going into speculation about what could be going on with this story, but for this video specifically, I wanted to focus only on the aspects of the story that we know for sure. Yeah, thanks again for watching this. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.